Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eye Opener Society. My name is Gary Dean. This is our guided meditation series. I want to thank you again for joining in. I'm so thrilled to see people that are excited about meditation. It means a lot to me, and I really do enjoy doing this. And I love giving, advice. I love giving some, guidance as well. So, why don't we jump into something that I've been promising here? This is a little bit more advanced than what most people would, do if you're a beginner. And I know I love dealing with beginners, people who never meditated before, or whatever the case may be. If this is your very first time here, or if you've joined me for every episode, this is something a little bit more advanced. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I am going to give background on it. And I will also try and establish a third eye connection. Third eye meditation. This is just another form of meditation, is all it is. So, what I would like for you to do, though, while I'm talking on this, because I got to give a little bit of background on everything first, explain some things, but at the same time, I still want you to meditate. So, why don't you get into your meditative state, relax, find your place, take a few moments, and just use my voice as a guide. It's in the background, as always. And I'm going to explain some things about third eye meditation, what it's about, how it can be done, things like that. But I wanted to give a little bit more background on the third eye itself. It's an area right between your eyebrows, and it's in many traditions, it's sometimes called the brow chakra, which is, I think it's pronounced Anya Chakra, Ajna. I'm trying to pull this out from memory. Um, but that's how in many traditions, it's just known as a brow chakra. There are way more than just seven, eight chakras. The more you study about that, you'll know there's a lot more chakras. Um, and that word, Anya, Ajna, Anya, I believe it is Ajna. Okay. That's often, I think it's translated as perceive, command, or wisdom. Uh, and this third eye, it represents inner sight rather than an actual physical sight. You don't actually see from there, but it's an inside sight, basically, just like what we do through guided meditations, where we sit and we come up with these images and they get projected within our mind. It symbolizes intuition, awareness, and deeper understanding. And people even say, that they describe moments of just knowing something without being able to explain why. Some spiritual traditions, they often associate this with intuition. So if we could really get deep into the third eye meditation, it can open up visions and it can open up intuition. When I really stopped going from just basic meditation just for calmness and physical reasons, I went right into the third eye meditation. It just seemed something that I figured, if I'm going to go in, I might as well go in full force. And so I just practiced with my third eye. So what I did, asked a few reflection questions. How often do we trust our inner wisdom? What is the difference between seeing with the eyes and understanding with the heart? What happens when we slow down enough to listen to ourselves? These are questions that I started to ask before I jumped into the third eye meditation. It helps. How often do we trust our inner wisdom? I mean, we all have inner wisdom, but do we trust it? That's an important question to ask ourselves before we start pulling up this inner wisdom. Do we trust what it is we have inside of us? We should, but we need to feel comfortable enough to trust it. And then what's the difference between seeing with the eyes and understanding with the heart? So this is a lot with the third eye, because again, it's not something we're physically going to see with, but we're going to see inwards. What we're seeing inwards must come from the inner soul, our inner heart, more so than just from that inner third eye. And then what happens when we slow down to listen to ourselves? This is what we should already know when we meditate. What do you experience once you do slow down and you start meditating? What are you actually listening to, and what happens when you do the meditation? Uh, so let me get a little bit into a few things with the third eye itself. The third eye is known as the pineal gland. Now, we still don't know yet because, science and medicine and the spiritual world all conflict on things. We say we have an inner eye or a third eye, and science says, well, we actually have a gland about the size of a grain of rice right in between our brow, and it's in the center of the brain between the two hemispheres. This little gland, what it's supposed to do is it produces and regulates melatonin. All right. That helps you control your sleep and wake cycles. This is also regulates your circadian rhythm, which is your internal clock. And supposedly it responds indirectly to light and darkness. So this is not exactly, with the pineal gland doing this sort of stuff, it's related to this third eye because if it does a melatonin dump to put us to sleep, what happens during sleep? Dreams. So these dreams, these visions that we have are greatly related to the third eye. And so therefore it said, well, the pineal gland is probably what's, causes that. Again, science, spirituality, medicine, it's a lot of different stories. So we're focusing on our third eye in the meditation world. Uh, it's and this gland also, it's not protected by the blood brain barrier. It's supposed to calcify over age. Um, so I know people talk about fluoride and calcifying things. So again, spiritual, science, different things. I believe as we age, as with our bodies, everything changes. And yes, it can create some calcification. I too believe that most of the foods we eat are just straight up poison and, can cause calcification. So I don't want to get too much into that. Not now. We're trying to just understand a little bit about third eyes, the pineal gland, and just what it is we're trying to achieve here. Some of these spiritual tradition, they associate the pineal gland with the third eye because they're both located near the center of the head. They're both associated with awareness and perception. And they both have this symbolic connection to light. And remember, like I said, this little gland is supposed to be indirectly affected by darkness and light. Uh, Depending on the practitioner, they may believe that meditation helps cultivate awareness that's connected to this third eye. But again, no scientific evidence. So nothing literally opens the pineal gland even when we're doing this meditation. So again, we're going with meditation, we're going with science, medicine, and all. There's no proof that once we go into a meditative state and we focus on this third eye, that the pineal gland actually just opens up and starts to activate. This is more symbolicism than anything else, but there is some sort of relation, which we'll go into. And I want to let everybody know that this is going to be over a course of maybe 3 weeks that I'm going to do this session for the third eye. Um, so why don't we just This is something I want to try. Now, I don't know if you're watching me on video. If you are, great. If not, it's not a big deal. I want you to just take three fingers, your thumb, your pointer, and your middle finger. Just kind of put them together so that it's a little try effect there, a little triangle basically. It could probably work with only two fingers or whatever. It doesn't need to be 100. This works for me. And I'm kind of curious if it works for anyone else. Taking those your fingers just like that, I want you to just kind of close your eyes. Make sure your eyes are closed. You could open them if you need to see where I'm placing my hand or anything, but this is pretty simple even without video. Focus for a second on the center of your eyes, on your forehead. Just take a moment, and I want you to be very relaxed before you do this. Kind of bring your head down so your chin is closer to your chest, and just focus for a little bit. And just focus right on that center. This is where the practice comes in, okay? This is where activating that third eye, you have to understand that it's there and to be able to quote unquote see from it. And you do that when you're relaxing, constantly focusing on that one spot between your two eyes, on your forehead, right between your brows. And you're just trying to focus on it and trying to envision that there is an eye there or whatever it is you want to say that can see and focus. Now, taking your hand while your head is down, slowly bring it right in between your eyebrows. And while you're focusing, all right, do it a few times. Just touch right between your brow and focus. And it's not happening for me right now because I'm talking, so I'm going to shut up for a second so you can do it too. Focus, slowly bring, and don't just touch, like I said, slowly bring it right between your brows. You should, and again, this is awareness, activation, practice. You should feel some sort of stimulation. I kind of feel like a charging, kind of like I don't know. It's a very different type of electricity, but I feel an activation when I do that. And it's almost like a continuous loop. I feel what I consider my third eye activating. I feel this energy going through my third eye, through my arm, back through my fingers, kind of like a loop. When I remove my fingers, I still feel that activation, is what I like to call it. It's just this stimulation that I have. Do it a few times, hit pause if you have to. I'm sorry it's so confusing because I know normally we're sitting in a meditative state, but this is more of a learning type of thing today. So if you have to hit pause and try it a few times, remember focusing first before anything, trying to see with your third eye, just focus in between your brows with your eyes closed. Try and get some sort of stimulation there, trying to energetically find that third eye, and then slowly bring your head down, and then slowly bring your hand up with your three fingers and touch right in between your brow. There should be some sort of stimulation. Now, if not, again, this comes with practice. It came a little bit quickly to me. Um, I'm not sure why. Everybody's different. So never ever see anything as failure in meditation. It never is. Everybody's different. But that stimulation, I do this a lot. I just sit whenever I feel like I need to relax myself. I find myself just doing this, sitting here, touching that activation, activating my third eye. It's calming to me. And like I say, it lasts, when you take your hand away, it doesn't really last that long, that stimulation, a few seconds or so, but you still feel it. I do it often because, like I said, I want to activate it, keep it activated so that whenever I need to, and I need to do a third eye meditation, it's activated, it's there. All right. Um, so if you play around with that, do that on your own, keep doing it. Like I said, it's a practice, do it often. Eventually, you'll start to activate something, you'll start to feel some sort of stimulation, And again, my email, I'm sorry, churchofeos at gmail.com, churchofeos at gmail.com. Email me and let me know if there's something that you are experiencing that you're unaware of, that you're trying to describe. I can help you. And again, this is all free of charge. Just reach out to me. And even if you want to have a one on one session where we can try and activate your third eye together. Okay. So now let's get back a little bit to the meditation technique there. With ancient stuff for centuries, philosophers, mystics, they always wondered what the pineal gland actually was. Why was it positioned so centrally, and why did it even seem unique among the brain structure? The third eye was often described as seeing beyond physical sight, not predicting the future, not supernatural powers, but it was the ability to become aware of thoughts, emotions, patterns, and intuition. And then reflection. Uh, the vision is not about looking farther. If true vision is about seeing ourselves more clearly, and what wisdom becomes available when we become still. All right. So this is just ancient stuff because obviously meditations have been around for so long. And it's interesting when you study some of these types of techniques and, how certain things like the pineal gland are applied to certain things. This is all about that inner awareness. So I'm going to continue this on again in the next episode. But for right now, let's focus, let's calm, and let's just sit and relax. And all I want you to do with your eyes closed is focus again on that center, on your third eye. And we're going to continue to call it our third eye from this point forward. Focus on it. And I want you to repeat this to yourself. I have inner sight. And let's do it again. And let's make sure it's very affirmative and commanding. I have inner sight. My third eye is activated. And again, my third eye is activated. The visions I see come from within. The visions that I see come from within. Sit for a moment, let these words sink in, and just keep focusing on that center, on your third eye. Focusing on them, and just whatever happens, happens. If you start to see things, whether they're very small or whether you don't see anything at all, this is just the first time that you're doing this. So, again, there's no failures, but relax and focus on your third eye. Keep those words going around as affirmations that your third eye is activated. Practice. Keep focusing. And as we move on to the next episode next week, we'll go into a little bit more of an activation again. And then by the third episode, magically enough, third eye, third episode, we can probably start seeing some things get activated. I'm hoping so. Like I say, it's long time practice just for meditation alone. Let again a whole new way of doing it. But this one is just very personal to me because this is my true style of meditation. I love doing the third eye meditations. And again, work with yourself. Let the act, you know, let the third eye activate on its own. Keep doing your affirmations, saying that your third eye is active. Come up with some of your own mantras if you like. And just practice. Every now and then, do what we've done before with your fingers to your third eye. Keep seeing if you can get some sort of stimulation. And in the meantime, from here to the next episode, if there's questions, do you want to work personally with me? Just reach out ChurchofEOS@gmail.com. Send us a quick message letting me know what you would like to try, do, or any questions. And I'll try and help you out from there before we go on to the next episode. In the meantime, bring your awareness back. Open your eyes, all three of them, and just focus, breathe, and know that you are safe. And just I implore you, please, if you're following along with this series, just do this. You have a whole week of just trying to focus your attention to that third eye whenever you can. You don't have to be in a meditative state to do so. Every time you close your eyes, focus on the center and try to activate it with your using your fingers, whether it's one finger or three. There's no difference. I just happen to use three, but just keep gently touching that area when you're calm and relaxed and try to see if you get any kind of stimulation. And again, if you do not, that's perfectly fine. Everyone is different. Don't let it discourage you. However, you will notice something the more you keep focusing with your eyes closed on that center. Okay. So take that with you. And with that, I thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into our Thursday night sermons. If you wish to see on the ministry side of things, Lizzie and I do our sermons. And believe me, this isn't your typical sermons. We give some core values to life, and we do it in a very raw, passionate way. Tune in Thursday nights, and we're live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both YouTube as well as Facebook, or you could just catch the recording afterwards. We look forward to seeing you, and don't forget our Monday morning shows every Monday as well.